John Krasinski with the Athletic. It's a long day already. Nickeil, you're coming off of the World Cup. Just in terms of what that experience did for you and how you plan to use it going into this season, can you kind of just sum up for us, like, how it changes things or how it sets a tone for you?
For me, just with a lot of how I think the last 2 seasons in particular have went for me, being traded, finding a new role and adjusting to it. Being able to play for the national team gave me a chance to build a rhythm for myself. I think the role that I had for Team Canada would be very similar to what I would be doing here, and that allowed me to build confidence to feel like I can excel here, continuing from what I did in the playoffs, and then allowing that to propel me into this season and just continuously working, watching film, but building the game reps to have that confidence and the muscle memory and all the work that I did this summer to put into that.
You've played for Coach Finch before, but with him as a head coach, just what do you think works about your skill set with what he asks you to do, what he empowers you to do?
I think it goes hand in hand now. And I spoke about it before, my rookie year, just being so naive. And now coming into year 5, understanding Finch a lot more, myself a lot more in my game, just kind of being able to make plays, get downhill, guard, and then just make the right pass. Not so much trying to score or be eager for stats like the young player with something to prove. More so just someone who's finding his footing and carving a role, and then with that small role, making a bigger one, and then a bigger one, and then just taking it one stride at a time, one day at a time, one game at a time.
Last year, but towards the end of the year, you referenced how kind of happy you were to be here. The opportunity you got, and extending into the summer, you get the contract, and you're here for the next 2 years. Did that change how you approach the summer, knowing that you have some security here, you have a role here, you have kind of a comfort level? Was that maybe a little different summer for you overall as a result?
One of the weird things to that point, going into the summer, I was a lot more calm than I thought I would have been. I wasn't as nervous, partially because I felt like I did a good job in that playoff series. Also because I learned to let go of worrying about outcomes and what I can't control. And I think that I felt like myself and the organization had a good sense of rapport within each other, and I knew what was best for me, and coming back was the right thing, giving myself a chance. And as to your question, just the work part, I think for me it's about being the best player I can be. And ultimately, if I'm being the best player I can be, then I can help these guys. And that's the main thing. Keeping the main thing, and carving out a niche, a role, a home for myself, and just building and growing, and never really ceasing to settle with, okay, I play good, because I've seen it go a lot of times.
We had Jaden in here a little while ago, and he mentioned just kind of how it was an adjustment for him, being the main perimeter defender when you have Rudy kind of as the backstop, and obviously you've played with Rudy for longer than he has. But what is it like when you are kind of a defender, and what do you have to learn about maybe playing with Rudy back there that's different than somebody else?
It gives you a lot more confidence to take that extra risk. Defensively, that aggression, knowing that you're tunneling guys downhill to Rudy, which is going to make it a lower percentage shot. And I think a lot of guys are so dynamic in this league that it's a lot easier knowing that you're not guarding them by yourself, especially if you do a well job, but you can make it just that much tougher. I think everyone nowadays, especially the elite scorers, you just see them constantly make tough shots. So it's just about trusting Rudy and your ability, but it gives you that extra confidence to know, hey, I got help. I don't have to lag. I don't have to sag off. I don't have to I can take that chance and allow myself to be a little just more aggressive. I think if you're boxing, it's kind of the same thing. You want to be the aggressor as much as you can, and that allows us to do so.
Nickeil, in the playoffs or at the end of the season last year, your three-point volume went up, and you're really getting them up for Team Canada too. How has that kind of grown and progressed in your game to be not just a three-point shooter, but a pretty high-volume three-point shooter?
Trusting my shot, trusting the work, and understanding that it's just going to be something that I can use to my advantage. I think last year it played in my favor with the guys we have on our team and the guys that draw so much attention. Mike is a great playmaker as well, and Ant's always going to see 2 to 3 guys. Cat's going to see 2 to 3 guys. And being able to make shots and our focus was being able to shoot off the move would just help me and help the team.
You showed last year that you're a playoff player and there's a ton of value that comes with that. Can you play the same way? Can you exude the same energy throughout the course of an 82-game season?
I don't see why not. I think my approach is always going to be the same throughout the season or the playoffs because I just approach the game the same way. I have a love for the game, and I don't want to get to the playoffs and have to turn it on. I don't have that luxury. So I think for me it's about staying ready and using Game 1 of preseason and help me for Game 15 of the season. And then Game 16 of the season is going to help me for Game 82, and then 82 is going to help me for, God's willing, however deep we go into this playoffs if we continue to do the things we're supposed to do.
Is physicality on defense something that's always kind of come naturally to you?
Not really. As I've gotten better, I've learned just small things about playing a lot of high volume players. And one thing that I can do is with physicality as much as you can, you wear them down, and that allows you to make things difficult. You don't want to give them a rhythm because with a rhythm, it's going to be a long night.
Pretty much the same question I was going to ask you. I mean, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, you probably wouldn't have been a wing stopper. Now, I mean, you fulfilled that role in the playoffs. What have you learned? Is it about, pacing yourself or being physical? And the follow-up question would be you and Jaden working together on the floor. How do you envision that when he wants to put his best perimeter defense on the floor?
I think it could be very, very, very dynamic. One of the things Jaden does well, and then to that point as well, just a lot of teams have 2 to 3 guys. He's only one man. So having someone else being able to I guess, assist him with that and take that co-leadership role defensively alongside Rudy, it kind of feels like you're able to level out as best as you can those 3 dynamic guys, the 2 high-volume scorers, or a lot of teams that are going to build around that, and that will give us a good chance, a fighting chance in a lot of games.
Nickeil, you might wear that medal around your neck, maybe to show Ant a little bit, or
I'm gonna keep it on ice for now, until he says something that I kind of gotta bring it back out. But for now, I'm gonna let it be. Hopefully, after the Olympics, then I have something nicer. But I would say for now, just a season until he gets carried away. Mm-hmm.